Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Riza Tazkiyaturrahma dengan nomor 2052438, program studi tulis bahasa Inggris kelas A. Di sini saya akan menjelaskan atau explaining about the material of mata kuliah Metodologi Studi Islam. Islamic studies developed rapidly during the golden age of Islam, especially between 8th and 13th centuries. During this period, Muslims not only studied religion but also made major contributions to science, medicine, mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, and technology. Great Muslim scholars such as Ibn Sina, Al-Khawarizmi, Al-Biruni, and Al-Ghazali became important figures whose works influenced both the Islamic world and Europe. Many cities such as Baghdad, Cairo, Cordova, Damascus, and Jerusalem became famous centers of education and intellectual activity. Several Islamic educational institutions also played important roles in the spread of knowledge. Al-Azhar University in Cairo became one of the oldest and most influential Islamic universities in the world, while Nizamiya in Baghdad was known for its excellent scholars and large library. Islamic studies later expanded into many Muslim countries and universities, combining religious sciences with modern knowledge. This development shows that Islam has a strong tradition of education and intellectual progress. Islamic studies in the West began during the Middle Ages through trade, war, and interaction between Europeans and Muslim societies. Western scholars became interested in learning about Islam, Arabic language, and Muslim civilization. This movement later became known as Orientalism. Western researchers studied Islam using approaches such as history, sociology, linguistics, and philology. Universities such as Oxford, Harvard, and Leiden developed important Islamic studies programs. Although Orientalism contributed greatly to academic knowledge, many people criticize it because some Western scholars or some Western researchers viewed Islam through colonial and political perspective. Islam was sometimes described as inferior or very different from Western civilization. Because of this criticism, modern Islam studies in the West have become more open and objective. Today, scholars study Islam from many perspectives such as culture, politics, gender, theology, and social life. Modern approaches aim to understand Islam more thoroughly and comprehensively. Islamic studies in Indonesia first developed informally through trade, preaching, and social interaction. Islamic teachings were introduced gradually to society, and later educational institutions such as pesantren and madrasah became important centers of Islamic learning. Pesantren are traditional Islamic boarding schools led by Kiai that focus on studying the Quran, Hadith, Fiqh, and moral education. Besides teaching religion, pesantren also have built discipline, simplicity, brotherhood, and good character among students. During the colonial era, pesantren and madrasah also became symbols of resistance against colonialism and helped preserve Islamic identity in Indonesia. Over time, Islamic education developed further with the establishment of formal madrasah and Islamic universities. Institutions such as IAIN, UIN, and other Islamic universities began integrating Islamic sciences with modern disciplines like economics, science, medicine, and technology. This transformation shows Islamic education and Indonesia continues to adapt to modern development while still maintaining Islamic values and tradition. Islam is a complete and balanced way of life that regulates not only worship but also social, educational, economic, and political life. Islamic teaching have several important characteristics. First, Rabbaniyah. It means that Islam comes from Allah and it's based on the Quran and Hadith. And second is Shumuliyah, shows that Islam is comprehensive and covers all aspects of human life. Third, Wasatiyah, emphasizes moderation, balance, and justice in daily life. Fourth, Insaniyah, highlights humanity, compassion, equality, and respect for others. And lastly, Alamiyah, it means that Islam is universal and relevant for all people in every era and place. Islam also has several important dimensions such as Aqidah, Ibadah, Akhlaq, education, social life, politics, economics, and culture. These dimensions show that Islam teaches not only spiritual devotion but also ethical behavior, intellectual development, and responsibility towards society. Therefore, Islamic teachings remain relevant in modern life and help create a peaceful, moral, and just society. And then, religion is a fundamental aspect of human existence that acts as a comprehensive guide for both individual conduct and social interaction. It is not merely a set of rituals, but a complex system of beliefs that provides answers to existential questions and offers a framework for understanding the world. Spiritually, religion connects humans to the divine, offering a sense of inner peace and purpose that transcends material life. But morally, it serves as an essential foundation for character building, establishing clear ethical boundaries between right and wrong, and instilling virtues such as honesty, compassion, and justice. From a social perspective, religion functions as a powerful cohesive force that strengthens community solidarity through shared values and collective worship. It creates a sense of belonging and provides a social safety net where members support one another. Psychologically, religion acts as a coping mechanism, offering mental strength and emotional stability during times of crisis, grief, or uncertainty. In the context of daily life, the role of religion begins in the family unit, the first environment where moral education is introduced and extends to the broader society, influencing how individuals make decisions and interact with others is an increasingly complex and globalized world. And in the field of the academic studies, Islam is analyzed as a living cultural phenomenon rather than just a static state of theological doctrines. This perspective recognizes that while the core teachings of Islam are universal, their expression is often shaped by the local environment, language, and history of a community. This dynamic interaction between religion and culture is particularly evident in Indonesia. Historically, Islam spread across the archipelago not through conquest, but through a peaceful process of acculturation. It engaged in a dialogue with existing local wisdom, Hindu-Buddhist tradition, and indigenous custom, leading to a unique manifestation of the faith often referred to as Islam Nusantara. This cultural approach highlights how religious rituals such as prayer, fasting, and the pilgrimage are integrated with local social practice. For example, Tradition like Selamatan or the celebration of Maulid Nabi. It demonstrates how Islamic values are expressed through local artistic and social forms. By viewing Islam as a cultural phenomenon, we can observe that it is not a monolithic entity, instead, it is a diverse and adaptive religion that can flourish in various social contexts. And without losing its essential identity. This understanding encourages a moderate and tolerant outlook, acknowledging that cultural diversity is a natural part of religious expression. I think that's all for me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.